Okay, let's try to get inside the mind of the Thuggee, a notorious cult of ritual killers.
To even begin to understand them, you have to turn your own morality completely upside down.
See, these weren't just common murderers, no. They were leading these truly shocking double ops.
So this is the big question, right? The answer lies in a really powerful origin story.
Their whole belief system, everything, was built on this one myth about the goddess Kali.
So Kali commanded them to kill demons without spilling blood. This became their sacred, never-ending sacrifice. And for them, this wasn't just some fairy tale. It was their absolute, unquestionable reality. You can think of this belief as a kind of psychological software that literally rewired their brains. What this did was completely reframe murder. It wasn't killing, it was a sacrament, a holy duty. This cosmic justification gave them the ultimate out. It just completely erased any guilt or remorse. And this is a super important point. A Thuggee wasn't a psychopath. Their empathy was just compartmentalized. So how on earth did they manage these two separate realities? Well, it's all about compartmentalization. They basically created this moral exception zone in their minds, a place where normal rules just vanish. Inside the hunt, normal empathy was just switched off. The victim wasn't even seen as a person. But outside that zone, they were loving husbands, respected fathers, just pious men doing their sacred duty. You see, their minds were captured by the story way before any victim was ever stalked.
See, for the Thuggee, this wasn't murder as we know it. It was a sacrament.
This wasn't some frenzied killer. Think more like a focused, highly trained priest. It all kicked off with a coded signal, something simple like, "Bring the tobacco."
A 3-person team moved with terrifying speed, and everyone had their job.
The key player was the Bertote, the strangler, who delivered a silent death.
And this silent method wasn't just practical. No, it was an act of religious obedience.
Their goddess Kali actually forbade spilling blood. That made the Rumal a sacred tool.
So what was going on inside the killer's head during all this?
They'd enter a flow state, a kind of total, almost automatic focus. Through endless practice, taking a life just became muscle memory, totally bypassing empathy. But the ritual didn't stop there. The ceremony actually continued after death. The body was then consecrated to Kali through a whole series of post-mortem rituals.
This whole process turned what looks like murder and robbery into a sacred duty.
All of this ritual built what was basically a psychological fortress around them. It was a shield, really, that protected them from the horror of their own actions. So how does something this monstrous last for generations? Well, the Thuggee weren't just a cult.
For most thugs, it wasn't a choice. Being a killer was basically the family business.
This created a completely closed-off world, one perfectly built to preserve its dark tradition. So how'd they pull it off? It all started with a slow, almost brilliant indoctrination. A boy's journey was super methodical. First up, he had to be a scout.
This whole process just normalized the lifestyle, making it the very core of his identity.
And get this, their secret language, Ramesses, built a powerful psychological wall around them.
Okay, so after years of this, the boy was slowly exposed to the real violence.
He might just start by holding a victim's legs, a gradual entry into the brutal reality.
Then came the final step, the moment he was finally deemed ready to kill.
Becoming a Bertote, a strangler, was a huge ceremony. It marked his complete transformation.
You see, this wasn't just murder. For them, it was a deeply religious and social event.
And with that first kill, he became a true man in their eyes, forging an incredible bond.
It created a mind that was a fortress, literally built and reinforced over many generations. In their secret world, the laws of outsiders, they just didn't matter at all. These bonds, blood, prophet, language, and God, created an absolutely unbreakable code of silence. To betray them wasn't just snitching, it was betraying your family, your ancestors, and your God. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much of the world we see is simply inherited?